beautiful thing about, experiencing life and doing the things that you do in your life is that your body is that shell that holds your soul. Hi, I'm Lucy Liu, and this is my Women's Health Body Scan. My favorite thing about my body is that it is so flexible. And when I talk about flexibility, I'm not talking about stretches necessarily, is that it can do so many different things and that it is connected to my mind. So it is flexible mentally and physically. I was training for both Charlie's Angels, the sequel, and for Kill Bill, and I did something where I don't know what I did. And then the next thing you knew, I was immobilized. I had a ruptured disc, so they had basically had to shave that part of the, that had come out of the disc, the sort of the soft, cushy part, came out. So I did the surgery, and then 2 weeks later, I was shooting the Snow Garden scene in China. When you fight with samurai sword, you actually just swing your body. You don't have to do any weird contortions, and most of the movement is with your legs, sliding, and with your arms. So luckily, it wasn't kung fu necessarily. It was just action with your arms and with your legs. So this center part of your body actually maintains itself and stays pretty still. I could be up for a certain amount of time, but then I had to sort of lie kind of on my back or something just to relax my back so I didn't overdo it. So between takes, I would be in this kind of a barca lounger that I would have to flip up and just lie flat for 20 minutes or something before I could go back into the snow and do the fight. Oddly, the part of my body that I was fixated on before were my cheekbones, that they were so prominent. And I think that it's become a better thing because they say, that's one of my highlights. Who knew? And I guess as you get older, it sort of holds up your whole face. Which is not a bad thing. I guess they're a hanger for my skin. I used to think that it was too much, it was too strong, and it would make me look really gaunt, but now I guess it's a highlight. I don't know, I'm just going with the flow. And also freckles. I used to sort of wish I didn't have freckles because my mom was like, your skin has freckles, and she tried to give me some sort of cream to erase them, but they're in my body, so there's no way to erase them. But I really love, my body and my face the way that it is. And I realize that it's part of me, and I don't try to fight that because it's crazy. I'm not going to erase my freckles, and it's part of my personality, I guess. When I first moved out to California, I found a lump in my breast, and I didn't really know where to go. So I just went to this doctor that somebody recommended. And he was somewhere in the San Gabriel Valley, and he didn't even, he touched it and he goes, cancer, must come out. And I was like, oh my God, I was completely freaked out. I mean, we didn't do scans, he didn't do a biopsy. And, because I was so sheltered and really didn't know much about Western medicine or, I hadn't really gone to doctors very much when I was younger, I just went ahead with the surgery and got the lump taken out and have this a big scar on my chest. It was a learning experience for me because I just didn't research enough and I just panicked. I pressed the panic button, and now in retrospect, it was the most insane move I could have made because you do get a second opinion, you do talk to people, you do get a biopsy. You do get scans. So it was a big learning curve for me. And I have learned, when it comes to health, that it's about patience and just, gathering information and researching before you make any idiotic moves or rash moves, that's for sure. After I graduated college, I got my wisdom teeth out, and I was so calm about it. I didn't think it was a big deal, but I guess I was really nervous. And when I woke up, I was hysterical crying. My boyfriend at the time picked me up and drove me down. I was subletting a place in Tribeca. And it was when Tribeca wasn't Tribeca now. And it was a really cool art space, but it wasn't the safest area. And as I was getting out, my boyfriend popped up, opened the trunk, and I was waiting to get my stuff out of the car. Some car backs up into the car and the trunk hits me in the face after I've had wisdom teeth surgery. And because I had gauze in my mouth and cotton and stuff, I was just like bleeding, like blood was just pouring out. And the guy who bumped into us came around to, check on us, and he just saw blood like coming out of my mouth, and he was completely freaked out. My boyfriend was yelling at him, "What's the matter with you?" It was complete madness. And then I had an allergic reaction to the Percocet or the codeine that they gave me. It was a bad scene. When I was younger, my mother would cut all of my hair off, so I had no hair. And so when I had the opportunity to grow my hair out, that's all I did. I just let it grow. I never cut it. I sort of got so sick of my hair. I had been thinking about for a long time dyeing my hair blonde. So I feel like it was a few years ago, I just went for it. I just decided I'm gonna go for this. And I did it and I loved it. But as it was growing out, you have to maintain it because you have to continually, bleach the top. And what happens after a while, like when I was working, you had to keep the color and maintain it sort of the same as you were filming. And that continuity became an issue because, it grows out. And as it grows out, because it's blonde, it becomes really frizzy, which I was not used to. Like I was always used to like a straight texture. So then I went back to dark, but it still has, signs of being blonde because it's still a bit frizzy when it's drying. I sort of learned I really liked being blonde, but I didn't realize how much maintenance was involved. I think it was really fun. I mean, I would, if my hair wasn't dark, I would do it more often, but right now it's just, simplicity is key. I think mental health is directly connected with, spiritual and body health. And I think if you can find the ability to connect your body with your mind, it's the best way to understand yourself and how you can continue to keep yourself healthy. It's easier when you have a child because they get up at a certain hour and you can't just leave them alone like a dog. Okay, I took you out for your walk now, you can just hang out for a little bit. They need stimulation, they need to be involved. They are your sole responsibility. So you have to kind of have a plan for them, and they have to eat at a certain time, and they have to have a schedule in order to feel like they're really safe at home. And that actually helps me to feel like I then have to stay on a schedule for myself as well. And mentally, I'll just take a time out sometimes for myself and just say, I'm going to take 20 minutes and just meditate to keep myself from falling into this very exhaustive state of repetition that I think we all find ourselves in. Personally, I think it's about feeling your best. When you feel your best, you're going to shine from the inside. I don't know that we all have the same genetic makeup, and nobody's going to be able to, replicate someone else's body, especially I'm a petite person, so my body is not going to fit into sample sizes necessarily. But to really, embrace yourself and be who you are at whatever stage you are is always going to be sexy, and it's always going to be something that's desirable. And that's what elevates, I think, the human spirit. Thanks for watching Body Scan, and don't forget to subscribe to Women's Health.